I remember it was one of those strange and confusing Minnesota days in early spring. It was April 16, 1983. Cold, rainy, drizzly, yet a bright sunny day. Sun was trying to shine between the clouds, and every so often it succeeded. I remember how that morning had been cool and crisp, and how the ice had been formed during the night from the melted snow of the day before would crack beneath my feet as I had walked out to do my daily chores. Remember how the cattle would steam as they arose from their beds of straw to come to eat their fodder. Chores had gone quickly that Saturday morning, and so I could take my ACT test that morning. Some of the tests I thought went rather quickly. Others seemed to go slow. That of a turtle could stand still and it be slower. Even though tests were not the thrill of my life, they went rather quickly all in all. Dinner was at a nearby McDonald's as to celebrate the completion of one of those milestones in my life, those dreaded ACTs. Upon arrival at home, I took my leisurely time to change into my work clothes. Even though it wasn't a planting or harvesting time, things still needed to be done. One thing that needed to be done was to throw a pile of corn feed out of the silo, which was for the cows later that afternoon, to eat in the barn while milking. I headed outside toward the silo. Silo, which looked like a skyscraper, was reaching for the heavens. It was standing there, just waiting for a person to attempt to climb it. As I took hold of the metal ladder, it sent cold chills to every end of my body. Grabbing each metal rung brought a new sense of numbness to my hands. I continued to climb, looking upward to my goal, and opened a small door which led into the silo. Crawling through the door, I fell about 2 feet in the warm feed of corn and stalks. Touching the warm feed, my hands began to tingle and to come back to life. In front of me was a machine which was made up of a powerful molder, a fan, and blower, a couple of 8-foot augers which had points on them to help dig through some of the frozen corn, and a small platform on one end, slightly above the augers. My muscles liked this machine because it saved them from a lot of aches and pains. I started it up. Sure enough, it did its old happy duty of throwing the feed out of the silo to the ground below. Brr, clunk, 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 brr, buzz, clunk. Oh no, problems. The old machine was climbing the side of the silo like a puppy trying to jump a tall fence. I jumped on the small platform, just as I had done many times before, trying to tame this wild pup. Suddenly I felt myself sliding into this harmless machine, which 2 minutes ago was buzzing happily doing its usual duty. Now it had become a big metal monster, chomping away at my leg, tearing away at its flesh like a wolf ripping away at the hide of its prey with its teeth. I pulled my foot out, but it was a slight second. The monster struck and grabbed my pants again. Again it pulled the partly gnawed foot and the rest leg back into its vicious mouth, chewing and gnawing and chewing. I felt the hellish heat shoot through my leg like a lightning bolt streaking through the sky. The lightning bolt of hellish heat was a river of blood gushing down the side of my leg, racing to a bloody sea. I screamed and cried in pain and agony as my leg continued to diminish until all the cells of bone were visible. Frantically, I tried to unplug the lifeline that gave this monster its control. I tried to reach it. The more I stretched to reach its throat, the more it devoured my leg. I couldn't reach it. There was nothing I could do. Dad, Dad, inside my heart yelled. Lord, Lord, help me. Will someone hear me and answer me? Will someone save me from this wretched beast that's eating me? Thoughts were running wild in my mind. My heart pounded like a mallet hitting an anvil. With every pound, it seemed to pound another nail into my coffin. All of a sudden, time ceased. I felt nothing. I relaxed, and felt an awe fill the silent air. It was as if Christ had calmed the raging storm that was happening. The Lord heard me. He heard my plea. He slew the monster. It was now silent. No more gnashing. No more pulling or grabbing. It was dead. I pulled at my leg, numb, without feeling, lifeless, like the monster. I laid it carefully across my other leg, being careful not to let it touch the corn. The silence was suddenly broken, the appearance of my father's face opening. My son, Tears were rolling down his sun-weathered face. As suddenly his face had appeared, it disappeared. I knew he wouldn't be gone long. I knew he was going to go get help for me. I looked down my leg that once was so strong and muscular. It was now nothing but what seemed to be bits and pieces of clothing lying in a lake of blood, which was still growing and flowing to boundaries unknown. My body continued to relax, but my mind was racing like a wild animal, racing across open fields without boundaries to stop them. Lord, I cried, what's happening? Am I going to die? If I live, what will it be like without having a leg? What will it be like not to run and jump? Lord, what will it be like? What will it be like? I felt a reassurance come over me. It seemed as if the Lord had come and picked me up in his arms, the same way a mother does her baby when it is crying. Trust me, he said softly. You will one day run and jump. But for now, I want you to be a servant for me. Don't worry about the challenges set before you. I will be with you. With each and every challenge you will grow. One day you will be with me for an eternity. There you will be able to run and jump. So don't worry what it'll be like without a leg. Be a servant for me. Smile now and love me, for I will use thee and bless thee. I grinned and said, Okay, take me. For I knew whatever was to happen to me, as the Lord was with me. That was 28 years ago, and it seemed just like yesterday. And now that because of the Lord, I can do whatever he allows me to do, and be a witness for him in this life. And I know that I can run, I can jump again, and I have done those things with my kids and many other individuals. And I know that the Lord is using me in my daily life as a witness for him. This is my prayer, that you too may be changed through him.